On behalf of all of us and Calgary Flames, my name is Beasley, saying so long. Enjoy your evening. Right now, Brandon Parker and Meaghan Mikkelson standing by with tonight's Flames TV live post-game show presented by Original 16.
Original 16, a great way to celebrate things done well.
Welcome inside Flames TV Live, the post-game show. It is brought to you by Original 16, and we are live on the air following a 4-1 Calgary Flames victory here over the visiting Pittsburgh Penguins. Brendan Parker alongside two-time gold medalist, Olympic gold medalist, Meaghan Mikkelson. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Good to have you back, and I think the win rate's pretty successful here so far, 2-0.
2-0.
Yeah, not bad, not bad. What do you make so far? Obviously, this one had some different, ebbs and flows to it, but what did you take away overall from tonight in the win?
I think it was a really strong game overall from the Calgary Flames, and saw a lot of good things, a lot of contributions from top to bottom, and some solid goaltending as well. So we're seeing, continued success in terms of specialty teams overall, and knowing Jacob Markstrom wanted to step up his play, and we saw that from him tonight. Yeah, no question, 32 saves, and we'll talk a little bit more about that. Expecting to hear, as we usually do, a live guest as well. In fact, I think we see him kind of coming through the back of the frame here right now. Let's welcome in Milan Lucic following the victory. And Luc, thanks for stopping by. Congrats on the win. Maybe just get your thoughts. First of all, let's, you guys talked about a few areas you wanted to improve on, but it looked like that first period set the table up for you tonight.
Yeah, it's obviously good when you have a good start. Got the first goal tonight, and great first period. Shots were 20-6 after the first, and that's obviously a good thing. And everyone was ready to go tonight, and it helped us get that win. Yeah.
Something that you talked about recently was making sure that your line, every time you're out there, that you're making an impact. And we saw it on the goal that Michael Stone scored, just how effective you guys can be in the offensive zone. How do you feel you guys did in terms of that tonight?
Yeah, I thought we were good. Obviously not every shift goes your way, but I think when they made it 3-1 there, we kind of, got it going again and got the puck in deep and got in on the grind in the O-zone, and that's what created that goal with Stoney's big shot. So, that's what we got to do night to night, straight lines, get it
Michael Stone.
Be hard players to play against and get the puck to the net, and like that, good things happen.
Well, and I think one thing that stuck out for me in that goal was your positioning in the offensive zone and just being in the right spot and then making the simple play.
Yeah, we talk about a lot, that first guy going in there and separating, whether it's body or position or getting under stick, and, the second guy being in there for support, to make a play. So, good execution by us, and it ends up with a goal.
You guys have had no shortage of practice time, and we've talked about that to death, but, just the way the schedule spread out to come out and have an effort like this and just kind of continue to build some of the momentum you guys have, started to develop here.
Yeah, it's a lot of practice time, like you said, and you know what? One thing, Daryl's made us practice real hard in our practice days. I think he's been trying to get the pace of our game up to where he wants it to be, and it shows when you have a first period like that.
Yeah. Good stuff. Appreciate the time. Everybody make a line change tonight? You let everybody get out there?
I was trying to go over the odd man the other way, but it didn't work. Yeah. But it's a good little clip to have.
I like it. Yeah. We enjoyed it. Thanks for this, bud.
All right,
Appreciate
thank you guys.
Milan Lucic stopping by the Flames TV live desk. It's a 4-1 win, and we'll have to try and pull that up, I think, at some point. But that was some good stuff. I'm sure if you've been on social media lately, you saw the non-line change there from Jacob Slavin in the Carolina game. Either way, some good stuff there from Luch. Just about, to your question about, the line and making an impact. And, that really is the calling card right now of this team, is right through the lineup. Every line trying to make an impact when you're out there, isn't it?
It is, and I mean, we're seeing it, like you said, from top to bottom, and power play, they're coming through. And I think one thing tonight as well was just some better 5-on-5 play, and that's been talked about a lot, is, between the players, coaching staff, pretty much everybody in the media is talking about it, is that 5-on-5 play. But another line that's been great is Michael Backlund's line as well, so we can't forget about them. Yeah, no question, and we'll see some of that. Let's go through the highlights. We're already a few minutes into the show. We've talked about it a little bit. Let's see
how it all unfolded, and we'll begin right at the top. And it's early into that first period, and some good work. Again, this is kind of what we talked about down low, and the way Luch described his line. It's kind of very similar to this goal, isn't it?
Yeah, it's that grinding down low, but again, the D getting pucks to the net. That's something that they've talked about a lot, is making sure that they have that shot mentality. But for that goal, to me, was Nazem Kadri again getting lost in the slot there, and then burying when he had the opportunity.
This was kind of a back and forth sequence here on this play as well, but obviously the 2-on-1 that you give the hot hand, and nice on Kadri just to keep and fire on that one.
Yeah, and he saw, on the zone entry here, we'll see he gives a little shimmy shake and uses some deception, and I think, the way that he's shooting the puck lately, he's making no mistake every single time.
Picking his spots, and he's making them count. That's now a 6-game point streak for Kadri to begin the year, and that's, I think, third still all-time in terms of a guy starting his Calgary Flames tenure. And then another one. This is the power play that's been clicking at a pretty good rate for the Flames. That's the 7th goal on the man advantage so far this season. Huberdeau gets his first.
It was a great dish by Rasmus Andersson at the point as well, and Huberdeau, just something he's talked about is shooting the puck more.
Yeah, and again, another guy that kind of talked about in the morning and then delivered at night. And here we go back the other way. It was Pittsburgh's first and what would turn out to be their only goal. That does come on the man advantage. It was at the end of a back and forth sequence with a shorthanded chance, but Malkin gets his fourth, and that would make it 3-1. But this is, as we described already, the sequence that would kind of seal things up for the Calgary Flames. But Michael Stone continues to contribute.
Yeah, Michael Stone shooting the puck. That's always a
no
good
surprise,
thing. Always
right?
a good thing.
And it makes no mistake there either. So he's got 2 on the year. I think 4 points already for Michael Stone. And obviously we get a chance to see and chat with Michael. A good story for this team in that what he's contributed obviously on the defensive end. But when you can contribute offensively too, that's got to feel good for a defenseman, doesn't it?
Yeah, it has to feel good. And he's playing with a ton of confidence, which I think that, he came into camp and he knew that he had nothing to lose. And there's something to be said for that. When you have nothing to lose, you're playing a little bit more light. You're playing free. And you're playing with a ton of confidence.
Yeah, and he certainly is. That pairing with him and Nikita Zadorov has been really good. We'll expect to hear from head coach Daryl Sutter here momentarily. We'll also go inside the Calgary Flames locker room, but maybe let's continue to dive into some of the topics. And I want to follow up on Kadri because you mentioned some of the deception there, and you had a good conversation with him this morning. But just what you're seeing from a guy, new team, new surroundings, but just the offense has really carried over from his career 1 year ago.
Yeah, I had the opportunity to speak with Nazem off camera, away from the media scrum this morning, and he seemed to open up to me a little bit more about what it is about his play that is making him so effective, so consistently in terms of producing offense. And he told me that he has been focusing on incorporating more deception into his game and also being more elusive. And we saw that again, the deception on the zone entry on his second goal tonight. On the first goal, being elusive, getting lost in the slot, and then popping into the right pockets. And also being unpredictable to opponents. But I think the last thing he said, and probably one of the biggest things, was knowing when to shoot the puck. When to shoot the puck. Which is
that 2-on-1, kind of a perfect example of that, right? When you're feeling it and you got a spot, just rip it.
Exactly.
As a defenseman, though, I wonder, your mindset, because you're hearing from a forward about deception, trying to defend that too, right? I mean, it makes it trickier, freezes, people up a little bit when you're trying to, defend and understand what they may or may not be thinking and trying to do, right?
Yeah, it makes it really hard, and that's where offense is headed now. Forwards are trying to be more deceptive, and in order to produce, that's what you need to do.
Yeah, no question. All right, let's hear from the head coach, Daryl Sutter. Following a 4-1 win, and I know he's looking forward to some more practice time upcoming, but let's first reflect on tonight and the victory.
What are your thoughts on that effort?
Really good first period. Early in the year, teams play back-to-back. It's hard on them.
Is that as close to a 60-minute effort as you've seen from your team this season?
Nope. I think we got lots to do. We gave up 20 shots in the second period. I don't think that's close to a 60-minute.
Thoughts on how Nazem's fit into your team? Another strong night from him?
Yeah, I don't think it's got anything to do with fitting in or being new or anything. He could play in anybody's team and be a good player.
Your team won 64% of the faceoffs today. What was your impression of your center group as a whole?
I think that Michael and Lindy and Naz had strong games.
Now that you have Kadri on your bench, you see him every night. Is there anything that's surprised you or just impressed you most of all?
I think he's been around long enough, and I've been around long enough that you're pretty familiar with what kind of competitor he is, and that doesn't surprise me. That's what he is.
Is it important for Huberdeau to get that first goal just to see that if he shoots more, he can?
Yeah, I guess it's important, not from you, but it's important from some of the guys that ask about him every day. So I guess they won't ask on Saturday about him now.
What were your thoughts on Jacob Markstrom's performance?
Markey, I think second period with, other than the, we missed scoring chance, they come down scoring chance. So other than that, I think he probably kept it a 2-goal game.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, there are some thoughts from the head coach, Daryl Sutter, here on the Flames postgame show. And let's pick up on where he left off there, and that's Jacob Markstrom. You mentioned it kind of off the top, and his impact on this game, which stands out really in that second period, 20 shots against. What did you make of Jacob and his continued evolution?
Well, I think after the third period that he had against Carolina on Saturday, everybody was wondering coming into the game tonight, which Jacob Markstrom are we going to get? And we saw the same Jacob Markstrom that we saw on Saturday night, which I'm sure that he was really happy with as well. But just making key saves at key times, and he talked about as well that he was grinding it out a little bit. But looking at the way that he played tonight, it seems like he's getting into a groove.
Well, and we've discussed it a little bit. I mean, the schedule doesn't necessarily set up perfectly for that, but, to get shots, volume a little bit, 33 against him tonight, 32 saves, but that helps the goalie, I would assume, to feel it a little bit more, feel that confidence growing, doesn't it? Yeah, and
Daryl talked about it, in the media as well, that he needs him to get on a roll. He needs him to play games, to feel the puck. And I think that, it's also a confidence thing. And coming off of Saturday, he had to feel good about that, and probably carry that into the game tonight.
Just the one more game this week, so it'll be interesting to see how they let that kind of unravel here the rest of the week. Obviously, plenty of practice time once again, as we alluded to. Let's talk a little bit about Jonathan Huberdeau. I know not much praise coming from that part of the discussion in that he gets his first, but Daryl not worried about it. Kind of sense, with guys like that, as he talked to you about Nazem, not guys that they're worried about fitting in. I mean, that it's happening, but just for Jonathan, maybe his sake, to get that first one.
Yeah, I think that, obviously we've seen what an elite playmaker he is and the passes that he can make since he has come to the Calgary Flames. But he said this morning that he needs to shoot the puck more. And their entire line, they need to be a little bit more selfish. And he was referring specifically to 5-on-5 play, but we saw it a lot tonight on the power play as well. He's just trying to get more pucks to the net. And, I think that as a player, you want to be predictable to your teammates and unpredictable to opponents. And you could argue that coming into the game tonight, maybe the scouting report on him is that lately, early on in the season, he's had a tendency to pass the puck more. Right. So maybe they weren't expecting him to shoot. We've all seen, what a great passer he is. Now we all have seen what a great shooter he is.
Yeah, no kidding. And that was a really good shot. And traffic in front. I mean, again, that was kind of the theme tonight. There's like bodies in perfect positions. Just to be able to set up take away the eyes a little bit of Casey DeSmith. Before we hear from the locker room, I know media just went in. We'll expect to hear from a couple players here, but I want to kind of circle back on Rasmus Andersson because, I don't know if it's quiet. Maybe in some forms it's quiet, but, 27 minutes or close to 28 last game. And then, again tonight, another point. What are you seeing right now from Rasmus Andersson and the way his game has sort of, carried him into, a real solid top pairing defenseman for this team?
I'm seeing a ton of confidence from Rasmus Andersson, first of all, and it's definitely translating into his play. But, if you look at his minutes over the past 3 seasons, they've slowly ticked upwards. And I think this season he's averaging just over 24 minutes per game. And when you play that much, it gives you a ton of confidence. You know that your coaches they're confident in your play. And as a result, you become more confident in yourself as well. But one thing I really love about his play is his shot selection right now. So we're seeing him shoot the puck a ton, getting pucks on net, but he's also deciding, when should I shoot, when should I pass, and when should I dish it?
Right, and it's not always about how much, we saw in the Stone shot, not necessarily about how much power is on it, but just about getting it through, right?
Just get it there.
Just get it there. One more, we got Jonathan Huberdeau standing by, but just on that, because you talked about minutes, I mean, as a defenseman, you've gone through that I'm sure the evolution when you add a few, extra minutes over time, but you know, is that a tough adjustment, or do you just like to play? The more, the better. How does that when you start getting up into that 27, 28 minute mark?
I think everyone's probably a little bit different. I
Sure.
personally, you know, the more you play, the more of a groove you get into. But
Yeah.
you also do have to think about that level of fatigue. It's an 82 game season, so
Yeah.
playing 27 minutes night in and night out. I mean, I would be tired.
Yeah. Well, I'm just looking at it now tonight. You know, so dial back down a little bit, 22:54. So, you know, if you get that balance, then it obviously works out. Let's head inside the Calgary Flames locker room and hear from Jonathan Huberdeau standing now.
Yeah, that's nice. If you guys can keep talking about it, maybe I'll score every game. But
is that an official request?
Yeah, you guys can talk about it. I mean, if it happened every game, that'll be nice. No, but I mean, it feels good, obviously, to get the first one out of the way.
What can you say about your group? The start really stands out, I think, just pouncing on them and lots of shots and lots of opportunities. That obviously set the tone, didn't it, for the rest of the night?
Yeah, especially, you know, we're having a good stretch at home, and we got to take advantage of that. And we need good starts, and that's what we've been, you know, having. And tonight, again, we did kind of let go a little bit in the second, but overall, you know, we played a good game.
Take us through your goal quick, if you don't mind.
I mean, yeah, I think power play goal, I got it on top, and I had a really nice screen in front, so I just had to kind of pick that corner, and it worked out. And I think, like I said, I'm just got to shoot a little bit more. It's going to go in.
Is it, you know, the coach wasn't thrilled with the second period, a lot of shots on your own goal, but there were all the elements I think this team needs to be successful. You know, power play was working well. You kind of got a short-handed goal, second and third end. Like, it seemed as close to complete as I've seen this team so far this year. Do you agree?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's still like soon. Obviously, we want to get better, like we said this morning. But I think, you know, if we play like this a lot of games, I think we're going to be in good position. And I think, you know, we got to work on some things, obviously. But overall, you know, that's the start we want every game, and take the lead. And after, we can kind of play well defensively, and it's, you know, I think it's going to work out for our team.
You said today that you wanted to be more selfish and shoot the puck more. Was that, you know, a nice adjustment? Was that going through your head a little bit on the ice today? Just shoot more?
Yeah, I mean, even if I tell myself sometimes, I still don't. But yeah, that's a kind of area in my game I got to work on. But I think, you know, 5-on-5 our line, we gotta be better again. But I think, you know, we're winning, and we're playing hard. We're trying, and it's going to work out at some point.
Jonathan, can you think of anything that Kadri could do at this point to be more popular in Calgary?
I don't know. He's been playing well. I mean, such a good player. You know, he works hard, and it's been working for him. I think, you know, it creates a lot of things on the ice, and you know, defensively, offensively. So he's going to keep going too.
Do you remember, and can you share what you said to him when he was on the bench after his second goal and you were just hitting the ice? You had a little shot there.
I don't remember, but probably said, "Nice shot, nice muffin," probably.
Thanks, Jonathan. So smiles all around, as you'd expect. Jonathan Huberdeau gets his first as a member of the Calgary Flames, but as we've heard now from both post-game interviews, or all three if you throw in Milan there, but still always looking for areas to get better, aren't you?
Yeah, it seems like they're never satisfied, which I think is a really good thing. I think it's, you know, they're 5-1, but there's still areas of their game that they want to be better at. They have very high expectations of themselves, and that's what's made them so good so far this season. But I think that's what's going to make them a great team moving forward as well, is they're constantly looking at all of the different areas of their game and how they can be better.
And one guy who has continued to impress, and I don't know what area is he going to find to improve upon. That's Nazem Kadri, but 2 goals and a helper tonight. Let's hear from him now.
For us, I think we came out hot. You know, I'd like to see us have a better second period, but you know, for the most part, we stayed with it. Had a great start, and that's definitely a a positive sign.
What do you say about this team that you guys are 5-1, and yet after every game we keep hearing about all the things that you guys could have done better?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's just, you know, the perfectionist and the coaching staff, and, you know, just always wanting the guys to be better. And, you know, we want better for ourselves as well. So, you know, we hold ourselves to a high standard in here, and we understand that, you know, it's a roller coaster ride throughout the course of the season, but, you know, it's definitely more enjoyable getting wins.
Now, can you enjoy a win like this, or is it more business-like because you expect to and feel you know, you got to get somewhere? Can you enjoy the wins along the way?
Of course. I think, you know, whether it's a great game or a bad game, you got to let it resonate for the night, and the next day you turn the page. I mean, that's how it is during the season. You try to keep yourself emotionally just in even keels, not too high, not too low, and you continue to try to get better week in and week out.
Even if there is a perfectionist vibe with trying to play a full 60 minutes, how close was tonight's effort to attaining that goal of playing a full 60 minutes compared to some of the other games you played this year?
Yeah, it's here and there. I think we haven't really pieced together a full 60 yet. I mean, there's been 50s and around there, but there's still some lapses, and that's what we're trying to correct, right? I mean, it's not all going to be pretty, but at the end of the day, we're grinding and getting the job done.
You've been on teams obviously at times that have struggled, and going into the office the next day and trying to pick apart your game and try to get better. It's probably more fun when you're on a winning streak than you're on a losing streak, obviously. But how do you, in this situation, how do you ensure that the message that you still need to improve on little things? How do you make sure that resonates with the group?
Like I said, we hold ourselves to a high standard. So I think the mistakes and stuff, I think maybe stand out a little more than what we do well. And sometimes that's a good thing, sometimes it's a bad thing, because we do a lot of positive things out there. But we're always trying to work on our weaknesses so we can become a stronger team. So that's just how it goes.
On a night where the other goalies really strong,
you always want to start off strong, right? Getting the first goal, I think your percentages go up automatically if you score that first goal. So we always try to get off to a good start and establish home ice, and we want this to be a hard place to come in and get a win.
Jonathan said that he said.
Original 16, a great way to celebrate things done well.
Welcome back, Flames Postgame Live, brought to you by Original 16. And look, we brought it up last show, and Original 16 delivers. The pops have been delivered to the desk. I'm told we're not allowed to drink them live on television. That's the one rule. But we can enjoy them after, right?
Yes, we can. Yes, we can.
Absolutely. That is part of the plan. Welcome back inside as we put a wrap on this 4-1 win. Calgary Flames improved their record here on home ice, and overall now up to 5-1 on the year. And just final thoughts from you, Meaghan, just as we kind of look ahead. We know, again, Luch talked about it, practice. It's valuable to a certain extent. I'm sure players want to play a lot more, but
nobody wants to practice.
Nobody wants to practice that much. But Edmonton finishes it up here, at least in terms of this week on home ice. But always fun to look forward to a Battle of Alberta, even if it is all the way until Saturday.
Yeah, it was the last game they played was relatively tame in terms of the Battle of Alberta. I think everyone would probably agree on that. But I think we heard it from just about everybody post-game here. It's that they're still not satisfied with their game. There are still areas that they need to get better at and they need to work on. So honestly, they're probably not super focused on the fact that they're playing the Edmonton Oilers. I think that they're focused on what they need to do better. Yeah, and we had a little bit of time to look forward, and that'll be our job, I guess, to talk a little bit about the Battle of Alberta, hype that up a little bit, and look forward to it. Thanks for doing it. Appreciate it. Thanks for having me. That has been our post-game show, and that is our next task is on Saturday night. As for us here tonight, it was a good first period and fought it off in the second period, but all thanks in part to Jacob Markstrom, 20 saves in that middle frame, and then they would carry it on from there. Michael Stone gets into the action, but it was Nazem Kadri that was the star in many ways here tonight. 2 goals and an assist. Jonathan Huberdeau gets his first as a Flame, and they win it 4-1. And now we look ahead to the Edmonton Oilers in round 2 of the Battle of Alberta coming your way on Saturday night, right back here at the Scotiabank Center. See you then.